Where's north from here?
Alreet Trainers, I'm some northern guy. Now recently my very good friend Lynk Cable created a tag video in which he shared his ideas for a brand new Pokémon game, and he tagged myself along with 14 other content creators to do the same. Now there's 8 questions that need answering to create this brand new Pokémon game, so let's get right into it. So our first question, question 1, what are these games called and why? Alright, so my new Pokémon games would be called Pokémon Power and Pokémon Wisdom, with a third game in the series being Pokémon Courage. Now, I chose Power and Wisdom because they're kind of like contrasting ideals, you know, mind versus might and all that. Is it better to be smart or is it better to be strong, like physically strong? However, those sharp-minded Zelda fans out there would have realised that these titles are also the names of the Triforce pieces. The Triforce of Power, the Triforce of Wisdom, and the Triforce of Courage. Now, all the Pokemon game titles and the colours that represent them are usually based off shades of red and blue, with red usually being the first of the pair. The exceptions here being Black and White, Black 2 and White 2, and all the third games in the series like Yellow, Crystal, Emerald, and Platinum. And to relate that back to Zelda, the Triforce of Power is associated with the colour red, and the Triforce of Wisdom is associated with the colour blue, with the Triforce of Courage associated with the colour green. Sometimes yellow, actually, so it fits both those games. Question 2, what is the region based on? My new region is based upon the United Kingdom, the UK. Plain and simple, really, it's my home country, it's got loads of history and legends and myths that we can base Pokemon, locations, characters. There's so much there we can use to transcribe into a Pokemon game. And I'd just love to see all of that represented in a Pokemon game and as a Pokemon region. Now in my games, the UK-based region is called the Kingu Region, which is Japanese for king. And I chose this because a lot of the UK's history and legends and mythology revolves around monarchs such as King Arthur, but also the United Kingdom, king, it somehow fits. Question 3, who was the regional Pokemon professor? The Kingu region's professor is Professor Aspen, who's named after one of the most common trees in the UK that's not already used as a professor's name. Professor Aspen is a fun-loving woman in her late 20s. She presents herself in a really formal way and is incredibly intelligent. She's actually regarded as one of the greatest Pokemon professors despite her youth. However, when she's not focusing on her research, she's really laid back and she doesn't shy away from having fun, much like Professor Kukui. Professor Aspen studies Pokemon's symbiotic relationships, which is Pokemon working together in nature to benefit from each other. And that's something we actually see animals do in real life. Question 4, which game mechanic from a previous game will return? Now I couldn't pick just one, so I've been a little bit cheeky and I've chosen 3. First of all, Pokemon in the overworld from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, and that includes Pokemon following you and ride Pokemon. Now I absolutely love this feature because it just makes the world feel alive and immersive, and I really want to see that in every Pokemon game going forward, but with wild battles returning as well. Next is Mega Evolution. I just love the whole concept of it. It's like going Super Saiyan, and I love me some Super Saiyan. And I'd just love to see new Mega Evolutions. I think it's time. It's a good concept you can use, and yeah, I want to see more. And finally, regional variants, just like Alola forms, just because it makes so much sense, and I just love the application of Darwin's theory of evolution applied to Pokemon. Like, the Pokemon adapting physically over time to better suit their environment depending on where they live in the world. It's brilliant, it makes sense, and I want to see more of it, just like Mega Evolution. I want every new region we have from now on to have regional variants. Question 5, name a brand new game mechanic to be introduced. Now this relates back to what Professor Aspen studies. I want to see tag team attacks. Now this is where a second Pokemon from your party that isn't fainted would team up with your Pokemon that's in battle, and they'd attack together. They'd work together and create a big super attack similar to a Z move. Now depending on the Pokemon you use, you can create different types of super attack, For example, combining a fire and a grass type will make a fire and grass type attack. It'll be a dual type. Now, if a Pokemon has a dual typing, then you can choose which type to contribute to the super attack. So, for example, Gliscor could use either ground or flying type to combine with another Pokemon. Now, this can only be done once per battle, just like Z moves, and I think it would add an extra layer of depth to consider when you're building your team, like what types would actually work well together offensively. Question 6. Who are the evil team? So the evil team in my games would be called Team Raider, and they're based on Vikings, and they use Dragon, Ice, Steel and Fire types as well as normal types in the early game. They're invading from another region, and they want to use a legendary Pokemon to help them take over Kingu. Pretty standard stuff really. They'd have grunts, they'd have 2 admin like Team Aqua and Magma in Auras, and of course the team boss. Now he looked like a giant Viking chief, and his ace would be a newly discovered Dragon type Pokemon. Question 7. In short, what's the overall story? Okay, you as the protagonist. Your family are famous Pokemon trainers and you live in their shadow. You're the youngest, and as such you're always pressured to achieve highly just like your family, but you're also pushed to the side by their success. And you've never even been in a Pokemon battle, and you're bullied because of this. Your family are such great Pokemon trainers, and you haven't even been in a battle before. Your father is part of Kingu's Elite Four, your older sister is a Kingu Region gym leader, and your older brother is currently travelling around the world winning badges and completing trials and winning all the Pokemon leagues in all the other regions, and he acts as a final boss in the post-game, similar to Red in Gold and Silver. You finally become old enough to start your own Pokemon journey around Kingu, and you set out to prove yourself as an individual and as a Pokemon trainer, proving either your power, your wisdom, or your courage, depending what game you're playing. And along the way you get sucked into Team Raider's plot, and you save the region as well as defeating your family members and becoming the champion, finally proving yourself. And I like the idea of there being different plot points along the way in different towns and cities and that, where you meet other people who are either not very confident in themselves, or people look down on them, or whatever, and you help them like get over that and get self-confidence, and you help them like stand up to people and things, and ultimately they're the ones who help you save the region. Like all the people who everyone looked down upon or bullied or, you know, low self-esteem, when everybody else fails to stop Team Raider, you and your mates are the ones who rise to the challenge and save the region. I think it's really, really poetic, incredibly Disney, but really poetic. I gotta go with it. It's such a typical like Pokemon Zelda type of storyline that I think it would be great. And finally, question 8, describe the new starter Pokemon. Now I had a lot of fun doing this, coming up with these starters. So first of all, I'd keep the traditional grass, fire and water trio. I can understand why people would want other types for the starters. It'd be fresh, it would be new, but I like to keep the tradition there. The grass starter will be based off a badger, not a honey badger, just a normal badger, because it's a very common animal in some parts of the UK. And its final evolution will be a grass and dark type. Now I've actually named these as well. So the grass starter is called Thornja. It's a combination of Thorn and Badger, and Thornja evolves into Burroot, which is a combination of Burrow and Root, and then Badbaranch is the final evolution, Badbaranch being a combination of Bad, because it's a dark type, Badger and Branch. The fire starter will be based off a goat, keeping in line with the fire starters being loosely based on the Chinese zodiac, and we have goats in the UK. And its final evolution would be a fire and rock type. Its name is Wolfer, which is a combination of wool and sulfur, and that evolves into Brimhorn, Brimstone and Horn, and then Ramkano, Ram and Volcano. And finally, the water starter will be based off a beaver, because it's an amphibian like all the other water starters. It can go on land and water. Its final evolution is water and steel, just like Empoleon. Its name is Beavert, which is a combination of beaver and cut. Yeah, I know that is pretty shit, but it's the best I could come up with. And then Beavert evolves into Dambaxter, which is a combination of Dambuster and Axe. And then its final evolution is Norblade. Nor and Blade, pretty simple stuff. It's a pun on Sawblade. God damn, I had fun designing these. I wish I had the artistic skill to create these Pokemon and actually draw them, but I don't. I can't draw to save my life. However, if you like the sound of these guys and fancy actually creating some fan art of them, then please do. I would love to see these Pokemon come to life. So knock yourselves out, make some fan art and tweet me at Northern Guy and just show me your pictures and I will share them. I might even make a video of them if I get a lot of them. And that is what my new Pokemon game would be like if I could design one. Now if I had the time, I would love to go all out with the detail on this and design a fully fleshed out region with locations, even more new Pokemon and characters. Maybe one day. Thanks a million to Lynk Cable for tagging me to do this video. Make sure you check out his original video, I will leave a link to that in the description below. Lynk is a very talented content creator and he deserves a lot more recognition than he currently gets. So go show him some love, subscribe to his channel and send him regards from the north for me. What do you think of my new Pokemon game? Let me know down in the comments and tell me your ideas for your own Pokemon game if you could create one. And of course, with this being a tag video, I need to tag 3 other people to take on this challenge themselves. So I tag Silver Beanie, Ragnarob, and Jaywitz. Also, I want to give a huge shout out and a personal thank you to Fatmon for letting me use her artwork in this video. Go and check out her DeviantArt page, I'll leave a link to it in the description. She is an incredibly talented artist, so go show her some love. Thanks very much for watching. If you liked today's video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe for more content, and share this video with a friend. Click that notification bell to ensure you never miss a video, and you can follow me on these social media platforms to stay up to date as well. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, keep training, and have a good one. See you later.